So this is the second video on this channel, and it's mostly just going to be me setting up my new turntable that my dad gave me. So if you watched the first video, I picked up some older electronic equipment, mostly for him, because he's really a whole lot more into the older stereo stuff than I am. I find it pretty cool, and I'm getting into it slowly but surely. But yeah, this is a Technics SLB20. My dad picked this up. He went to go, actually, it was a Facebook Marketplace deal. He went to go look at some speakers for my guy. Like he always does, he asked if he had any more stuff he wanted to get rid of, like old stereo stuff, because that's what he's into. And he had two of these, he let go. I think he picked these up for like 20 bucks a piece. But the guy claimed that there's something wrong with it. I don't really remember what it is now, to be honest. And it was missing a power cord. And us being the way we are, like anything power cord related, we don't get rid of any of that stuff. So of course we had one. But yeah, me and my dad spent yesterday cleaning this thing up and testing some records or albums or vinyls or whatever they're called on it, and it works fine. I wanted one to go up to my apartment, which is where I'm at now, because my receiver down here, I'll show you that here in a second, has a 8-track player, and after like an hour or so, it I think it heat soaks and the music just starts sounding inconsistent, and I can't stand that. Also, in my apartment, this place is built like a bomb shelter, so I don't get any like radio service in here, and I want some music to listen to, and I asked my dad if I could use one of these, and he said sure. So every once in a while, I guess I'm just going to be rating his album collection and just bringing some up here. There's the SLB20. Again, we spent a little bit of time cleaning up, and it's still not perfect, but it's not bad. And one of the hinges is broke. I think it's this one. Yeah, it is that one, but it still clips in there pretty good, so it still works. Still works as it should. You'll see something's missing. The 45 adapter, it did come with that, but I don't have a use for it. I could see me losing that, so I just told my dad to put it on a turntable there at the house. The speakers I'm going to be using on this, they're not massive. You can see them. There's some Pioneers. Again, I'm in an apartment, so I don't need anything like huge or boomy. I want that, but I don't think my neighbors want that for me, which is kind of rude, but these will do for now. They actually sound pretty good. They're black. I'm not a fan of that. I wish they were like a wood grain. I actually have some vinyl wrap in this cabinet right here that I plan on wrapping one day. I like getting into this pretty cheap. I think that's anything I get into. I like to do it cheap. I didn't mention this turntable was 20 bucks. These speakers right here, these Pioneers, I'll go through all this in greater detail here in a second. Those were 8 bucks, and my receiver down there was like $7. Speakers he got from a thrift store, but the receiver he actually just picked up in a bundle deal. He bought a guy's like entire collection. How am I going to do this? This is a lot. So here's my receiver that I was talking about. It's a Toshiba, what is it? Actually, I don't even remember. Oh, SMS 455 or 4550, yeah. So yeah, like I mentioned, has an 8-track player that works for a little bit. Actually, it works pretty good for a while, but then it just like, you know, starts to sound inconsistent and stuff. It's unplugged right now, but I'll show you in a second. It's got some pretty cool backlights and stuff. But my dad picked this up. There's a Facebook Marketplace deal where the guy was just wanting to get rid of everything, and he bought like, I don't know how many pieces for like 100 or 150 bucks, and this was in it, and it came out to like $6 a piece or $7 a piece or whatever. So that's right up my price range, if you can't tell. But I can't figure out a camera angle because it's kind of like in the corner of my living room, so I'm just going to plug everything in and then come back when I've got everything hooked up. Okay, I got everything plugged in. Actually, I'll demo the 8-track first, because that's kind of interesting. You don't see very many of those working anymore. Tape.
Get his hat, pack his trunk, and he came on back to town. He just kinda hangs around. He's a local hero and the local drum.
Lamp's crooked.
He's an outlaw, he's a punk. You may think Sitting here in LA looking down at my shoes, drowning my troubles on small talking blues. Sitting here wondering if I could have been.
Yeah, that's the 8-track player. Got some good music on it and stuff, but I don't usually run it that much anymore. Got some ZZ Top, Afterburner. That's a pretty good album. Actually, one of my dad's original ones. Switch it over to phono. Why'd you do that? I may have clicked stop or something. There's a certain order this thing likes to go in. Oh, it's quiet, isn't it? It's full volume. Why is that? Okay, well, I guess I got some research to do, so that works. Okay, so we did some research on this. By we, I mean me, and then I called my dad, and he said, "Yeah, that sounds right." So, back in the day, receivers were built to drive turntables or like get the audio from turntables. That was like the thing back then. I'm gonna flip this up because the glare looks terrible on camera. Which means that these receivers down here had a preamp to, I guess, bump up the audio and make it where it sounds good and like you can hear it, which I can't do either. It doesn't sound good and I can't hear it right now. So I think my receiver, actually I don't think, I know my receiver, I mentioned earlier in this video that this was like cheap. This was the cheap back in the day. And that's carrying over today because this was so cheap that it doesn't have a preamp built into it. That's an issue there. Another issue, it was not really an issue, it's just the way it is. These old turntables don't have a preamp because they relied on the receiver to have that. So if you go to Walmart now and buy a, I guess do they have turntables? I don't know. But if you go buy a new turntable, or at least a newer one, they'll have a preamp because they know that since like the 90s, I read on the forums, none of these came with preamps because all that audio is digital, for CDs and stuff, which didn't need a preamp. So that means that turntable doesn't have a preamp because it's too old, and this down here doesn't have a preamp because it was just too cheap for back in the day. This is like the base model or whatever, I'm guessing. So I ordered a preamp. They're pretty cheap. They're like I think I got one for like $20, and it's going to be here Wednesday, like this Wednesday, as in 2 days from now. The issue is the way my college schedule is. I'm not going to get back to this video or to this audio system until the following Monday, which is literally a week from now. It's Monday right now. So that kind of sucks. I was looking forward to listening to music and like working on my little RC car right there. Oh, there's the wood grain I was talking about. So might wrap those speakers one day. But I guess I'm gonna have to wait a week. For you, it's gonna be like 2 seconds, but for me, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be torturous. So I guess I'll see you guys in a week. Okay, so we're back on my turntable setup. Also got a new camera. That's why it looks different. I picked up a Sony ZV-E10. I've been wanting to upgrade from my iPhone, but didn't really want to break the budget. And I actually picked this one up right here, this thing, it was an open box. I got it for around $550. This thing pretty much looks brand new, and these are around $700. But I picked up a preamp for this thing. I don't really know much about it. I got it on Amazon for like $20, and we're gonna throw this thing in here. So what this is, oh, it's got a ground too. Unless it came with a ground cable, I don't have one. Is that going to focus right there? I don't know how to use this camera just yet. There we go. What it is, or how it works, I guess, is probably, yeah. So here's the input, which goes from, I guess, the turntable. Why is this not focusing? I guess it goes from the turntable, and then put this to the back of the receiver, and then you're going to run 12 volts to it, and it's going to work, maybe, I think. Again, I did like 2 seconds of research on this. It's not like I had over a week or anything to look it up. I have it down here, you can't see it, but I didn't hook up or put back my receiver where it usually goes, just in case something is off. Also, you can see there's more Christmas decorations been put up since the last time you saw. I'm gonna try the same ZZ Top one. I couldn't get to work last time. Oh, there we go. Now. There we go. So it definitely needs a ground cable. But yeah, it works. That's pretty cool.